Hungaroring around the rosy. Alright, Hungaroring. We've done this a few times now in the Porsche Cup. I don't remember how I usually do here, so fingers crossed it'll go well. I was able to get a 147, 746. I think the fast guys will be doing 46s maybe. I think there's like a 30% chance of rain in one of the series. I can't remember which one right now off the top of my head, but also fingers crossed that I get dry sessions. Or if we get wet ones, I'll be lucky. We'll see. We're gonna go through we'll show you the fast lap I got here, then I'll go through and talk what my process is in my head while we do it, and then come back for some final thoughts.
Sector 1 is a tenth off your best. That lap time was 1:47.75. Sector 3 time is fast.
Alright, Porsche fixed at Hungaroring. We've moved the brake bias back 4 clicks to minus 5.5 there. So we're going to go through, we got a 147, 746. We'll go through how we did it here. We got an okay run out of the last corner. I can't remember if it was good or bad. Doesn't really matter at this point, but we're going full throttle through here. Our braking point is going to be between the 200 and the 100, a little bit closer to the 100 than the 2. Braking points, when you're following somebody, I don't have a good one, but like a little bit before this lighter patch on the concrete, and then it's like, it ends up being, I think, kind of around where these two tire marks are, but that's kind of what I've been using there. So a little bit before where these grandstands and the 100 marker are, maybe like a car length or two. But that's where we're going to start hitting the brakes, hit them pretty hard because we're going pretty fast, and we're going to start downshifting. We're going to end up downshifting to second here, and go straight while we do our most of our braking. And we're going to start turning in as we start to ease off the brakes a little bit more. Get down to second, like I said there. Turning the car in. And easing off the brakes. Just going to keep on holding that little bit of pressure and get the car turned in. We got a lot of wheel there. And we'll start unwinding the wheel here as we put some throttle in. After we come out of the apex, we're going to come out and we're going to use all of this this track here that we can, and then we are full throttle turning in over here. Our next braking point is going to be a bit before the 100 marker here. kind of, you can see that there's two colors on the pavement. We're gonna brake about where that change is. If there's a white line here, it is the 100 marker because there's, oh, it's just a little bit before, but this seam right here is where we're braking. So start braking there. This one's not so heavy a braking zone. It's heavy-ish, but it's not as heavy as the first one. Maybe what we're doing about 60% there. We're easing off. Again, we're gonna get down to second eventually here. We're just letting up on the brakes and using the brake pressure to turn us in. And we're just gonna hold that brake pressure as we get the car turned around. We gotta keep churning. And then as we start to get the car turned, we've got her turned, we're gonna start putting some throttle in. Just a little bit there, and then we can go a little bit more as we get the car finished turning. There we go, full throttle. But we still need to get the car, we want to get over kind of onto this side, so we've got a straight shot through here because we're going to take that full throttle. So we keep turning so we get the car over to the left, and then we got to get the car starting to point in the other direction. So we're going to bring the wheel back over, and we got to aim it pretty good. So we're going to clip this curb a little bit, and we've had to upshift there, so you got to watch because that's going to happen in there, and you just have to kind of bring that in subconsciously. We're going to clip this curb here on the inside. If you clip it too much, like much more than that, you're going to get an off track if you get your over too far on the right. So we got to manage that, and then we got to keep turning, keep bringing that wheel over, because we can't go too far over on this side and use too much of this. We can use a fair amount, but much more than this, and you're going to get another, there's an off track over here, obviously. That's about as much as you can use. But then we're full throttle through here. And there is another line on the pavement here. I'm going to brake a little bit before that. I'm going to start applying my brakes just a smidge before this. So we're kind of peaking when we cross that line there. But we're going to get down to third here and start turning the car in. We're going to use a little bit of this curb on the inside. Hit that curb there and start putting some throttle in afterwards. And we're going to come out onto this curb on the right. We could have gone out a little bit further, but we are full throttle now. And we're going to get up to fourth. We're kind of more, as we come over to the left-hand side here, we're going to start braking. And then start downshifting as we go. Just hold that little bit of brake pressure as we're turning in, getting down to second. And then part way through this corner, we'll start getting on the gas again here. We gotta hold the brake pressure as we're turning, and then we can start, as we get the car settled in and start to feel it finish rotating, we can start putting the throttle back down. And we just have to wait and be patient to put the rest of the throttle in. There we go. We can start to put the rest of the throttle in as we get the car straightened out. And we're full throttle once again until we get to the red and white curbing up here. Once we hit that, we're going to hit the brakes again. It's not super heavy. So we're going to hit the brakes. It's decently heavy, about 60%. I'm going to start turning in. I'm going to try and turn in a little bit later. I think I maybe turned in a little bit early this time, but just hold that little bit of brake pressure. And again, we can use a bit of the curb here, but much more than this, and we're going to get an off track. So we start to get on the throttle as we bounce over this. And we'll get full throttle, and I lift a little bit here usually. I don't know, yeah, we lift a little bit just to, the car is super unsettled and we don't want to amplify it too much more. It probably is a way to take that full throttle, but I don't know it. Our next braking point is a bit after this lighter patch on the pavement here. We're just hit the brakes. And I like to get down to second here. I don't know. Some people might do it in third, but we're just going to hold a little bit of brake pressure there. We downshifted. And we're going to bring the throttle back in. And get over to the left-hand side of the track here. Full throttle, and we're going to get back up to third. And we're just going to hit the brakes a little bit to get the car turning once again. Just hold that little bit of brake pressure, and then we're going to bring the throttle back in once we got the car turned. And then we wait, straighten out the wheel, and punch it. And we're full throttle here. And depending on how it goes, sometimes I can take this full throttle, but I think if you get a good exit out of that last corner, you're going to have to lift a little bit here. So just a little baby lift. And then we can get back full throttle. And then once we get to these curbs again here, we're going to just a little bit of braking. And just a short stab on the brakes and start bringing them back once again. Get the car turned. Wait for it to turn. It's turned, and we'll put some throttle in. Then we have to be patient and wait. And then we can start putting some more throttle in. Once we get the car turned, it's a little squirrely on us. So we gotta correct a little bit as we come out. Screwed that up a little bit. But it went okay, and we're just gonna full throttle through here. I had been shifting up to fifth here, but I don't think I kind of stopped doing that because we're gonna hit the blue lights about when we need a brake, which is a little bit before the curb here. Then we're gonna start braking. Yeah, it's about at the 100 marker there, and I have to be pretty good on the threshold braking here. We're gonna go down third and then start turning in a little bit, easing off the brakes as we do so. We're gonna use a little bit of the right hand side curb here, get down to second. Hit that curb, then we'll start putting some throttle in. We're gonna use the this area over here. We've already gotten to full throttle. And we're gonna go full throttle. We're gonna head up onto this curb on the right hand side here. So get all the way up on it. And we need a brake. I forgot to mention that. As we approach the thing, we're gonna brake right about here. Kind of started doing that without thinking about it. So right about where the curb starts, we start to brake. And we get down to second. And this is a bunch of patience on this corner too. A lot of these corners you have to be pretty patient through. But we're just barely holding that little bit of brake pressure, get the car turning, and then we were just gonna coast a little bit. Wait. Start putting a little bit of throttle in. Wait some more, squeezing that throttle just a bit. And as we come out, we can start putting a bit more throttle in until we straighten out the wheel. There we go, full throttle. And now we need to turn the car and get pointed over to the left-hand side of the track. Getting up to third. And then this is a very tricky corner here. I'm not super consistent on it, but we're gonna start hitting the brakes, I guess a little bit before the white line here. Maybe a car length or two. And then we're just gonna hold that little bit of brake pressure as we get down to second. Turn in. And I'm gonna get on the right hand curb here. I was too early on the throttle here. That kind of messed me up. You'll see me lift a little bit. Yeah, there we go. I was too early on it, so I lifted and put it back down. But we're on the inside curb here, waiting. And I'm gonna open up the wheel, and we can put the rest of the throttle in. And we're gonna use this exit here. Exit. We're gonna use the side of the track on the exit. Again, this is about as far over as you can get. And just full throttle the rest of the way, and we got ourselves a 147, 746. So yeah, like I said, happy with this time. A lot faster than I was last time here, but the track's a lot cooler. I think it was in the track temp was in the hundreds last time, and it's in the 80s here now. So it should be a bit quicker, but I think I've improved a bit. If you want to watch along live when we do these races, head on over to twitch.tv/thepiltdownman, leave a follow. Thumbs up if you liked the video, thumbs down if you didn't, and if you think I earned it, hit the subscribe button here. We'll see you next time.